and burn.
Hey everybody! So this video here is just me basically complaining or ranting about how, like, despite how technically vinyl sales are up, they're not anywhere near where they used to be when vinyl was the standard. I mean, back in this peak point in the 70s, they were selling like 3 or 4 billion a year. But people keep going on and on about how there's a resurgence, and there is technically. I mean, you look at like Taylor Swift, if I'm not mistaken, is responsible for 7% of all vinyl sales in the world. Other than that, I mean, I think in the States there are 49 or 50 million sold in 2023, which was, I think, a 14 or 15% jump. And then, of course, NME reported that 50% of the people purchasing vinyl, in the United States don't even own turntables. So it's like, vinyl sales might be up, but it almost feels more like a gimmick. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching all of this happen, every record seems to be pressed on 180 gram or 200 gram or 220 gram or something. And it's like, you don't need that. I still have all of my Duran Duran records from the 80s and my Tiffany's first one and all my fucking Debbie Gibsons and my Kim Wildes. I've had those my whole life. And they're all printed on the standard 120 gram that, I paid $8 a piece for them way back in 1980, whatever. None of them are warped. They all sound amazing. And it's like all of these vinyl labels are sort of justifying these ridiculous price tags. I was at the record store at the mall and they wanted like $75 for Ariana Grande's new one, Eternal Sunshine, because it was, 200 gram, 180 gram, multicolored, this and that, splatter vinyl or something. And it's like, come on, $75? Like, you want to shift some units, right? The idea here is to have vinyl sell even more, right? Well, why don't you lower the grammage, lower the price point? Everything doesn't have to be a double or triple gatefold with exclusive artwork and liner notes done by this person and that person. You don't need that for most, especially pop releases. Just make Grande's records $20. Like vinyl, not CDs. Make the vinyl $17.99, print it on a cheaper weight, and then keep the artwork to a minimal. There, you will shift more units. And I'm just so tired of like every band in the world doing that same splatter effect to all of their vinyl. And I'm looking at everybody does this. From every record I ever bought from Waxworks, Rancid's doing it for their anniversary releases of certain records, whatever it would be. And they all look the same. And I don't get why they're charging as much for them. Like, it just feels like we're being taken advantage of. It feels like all the records look identical. They've got, like I said, liner notes from the such and such and exclusive artwork from so-and-so. And it's like, I don't really care about any of that. I care about the music. And it's cool to be able to walk out of a record store with, 2 or 3 records instead of buying one. Like, you walk out of a record store after paying $75, $80, you should walk out with a handful of albums. I don't care if it's CDs, cassettes, or vinyl. When you spend that much money, you should have something to show for it. But nowadays, especially with Taylor Swift stuff, it's like you're paying $75 to $100 for a single record. And that's not okay. And I fucking love Taylor Swift. Like, I bought all her records. Like, I'm not going to stop. The Tortured Poets Department comes out on April 19th. Like, I am counting the minutes for that one. But it's like, the records should just be cheaper. I'm so tired of this. We don't need multicolored, clear, splattered, blood-infused, blah, blah, blah vinyl. And like I said, liner notes by so-and-so and this artwork. Who cares? We're there for the music. You want to sell more copies, make them cheaper. Make them, like I said, like they used to be. Where the hell are my... Oh, I'm not digging for all those. I don't care that much. But like I said, all the records I've had since I was a kid, I still have them. None of them have warped. See, that, if I'm not mistaken, is another selling point that a lot of vinyl producers will say, oh, well, the 200 grams, the 180 grams, they're not going to warp. They sound better. They last longer. But my copy of Duran Duran's Real, that record came out in like 82 or 83. I bought it as soon as I was old enough to understand the idea of commerce. So I would have been 6 or 7, and that would have put it around 85, 86. So I bought my copy of Duran Duran's Real that was no doubt pressed in 82 or 83 around 86, and it still sounds as amazing now as it does then, and it's that standard, cheap, flimsy 120 gram shit that they always used to print vinyl on way back. So I just don't understand this outside of companies are gouging the consumer and then tossing in how, like I said earlier, that NME reported that 50% of the people buying albums don't even own a turntable. This is like decorative. It's ornamental. It's just someone's like looking at their fucking copy of Taylor Swift's Midnights like I am and just fucking smiling at it because they love Taylor. But not a lot of people are actually going and putting the vinyl on because half of them apparently don't have fucking record players. So lower the prices. Maybe people will buy more. Maybe people will feel more compelled to buy a turntable. I mean, come on. Do you want to sell copies or do you not want to sell copies? Or do you just want to like sell them to the musical intelligentsia who believe that they're more into music than you are because they have more circular pieces of wax and plastic? Like, that don't mean shit. If 100% of your musical intake is through YouTube or Spotify or some shit, that means you love music, okay? It doesn't matter if you go and buy 10,000 CDs. I have a fucking trillion CDs. I have a fucking million records. It doesn't mean I'm into music any more than the person out there who doesn't own any. If you live for the music, you live for the music. It's that simple. So stop fucking gouging us. I feel like a sucker and I'm way too old anyways. The only records I'm buying from this point are fucking Taylor's. So that's it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me while I ranted and raved about how vinyl is way overpriced and it's not worth it because it all looks the fucking same. Lower the prices, lower the grammage, please. Yeah. This is where I'd say something positive in that, but I'm not feeling very positive. You are amazing. Don't forget that. Have a good night.